helpful. Here's what I will say. Nothing that I'm saying works on unaccountable people. What I'm saying is for people who are actually focused on holding themselves personally accountable. I'm not interested in helping somebody that's not about to be a real leader. So what you did was help somebody who used you to get to their next level and then pushed you out the way and said thanks, but no thanks. So you can't help unaccountable people. You can't help them. That's not when I'm saying help others, I'm not talking about them. So that's why it didn't work. You help people who are holding themselves personally accountable because they actually are going to pay it forward. They are actually going to do the right thing. So you help someone who is being led by their amygdala instead of their prefrontal cortex. So they needed you, you helped them. They said, yup, and they went and flossed and flexed to the other people, to the other unaccountables. So you, for step one, is stop helping unaccountable people. Stop letting them use you. Oh, and thank you for this, because here's what I realized. And let me read Lola's first and then go to that thought. Lola said, I learned the more I learn about the brain, the more empowered I will be. Yes, ma'am, that is correct. So Linda said it at the beginning of the year that unaccountable people need a host. And now that we've been studying the brain for going on, we're in our 7th month this year, but 10 months for me overall, is that amygdalas need a host. And the reason why is because it's down here. And its job is only to alert you. Here's how I'm feeling, here's what's happening, and that's it. But the amygdala needs a host. And so what happened for you, Jessica, is that, and they don't follow through. So what happens is losers, that's why there's always an unaccountable person coming on my live, because they need a host. They need an external stimuli to get their dopamine boost. I'm not trolling over in Loserville. I'm not rolling past, yeah, bitch. Not doing that. I'm over here minding my business. I just mind my business. That TikTok sound for like 2 years ago. They need a host. We don't need a host over here. We solo dolo. We like John Wick, Superman. People that just Wonder Woman. We roll by ourselves and got enough power that when we wreck some shit on our own, do something completely on our own, because we're using 860 trillion synaptic connections in our brain, and they use about 7. So that's the problem. So what happens is everybody over there has hijacked amygdala, and then they come over here because they need a prefrontal cortex. Because what's supposed to happen is the amygdala alerts the prefrontal cortex, and then the prefrontal cortex says, I got you. Go back to sleep. But theirs is taking over everything. So they came and brought their amygdala to your prefrontal cortex. You did everything for them. So they didn't wire their brain. They didn't use their working memory or anything in here. So when you did the work, they didn't have the sweat equity. So that's why they just went back. That's why they didn't follow up and follow through, because they were not actually creating synaptic connections to the rest of their brain. They hosted on, think of a barnacle on a ship, or a leech or a tick. They just sat there on your prefrontal cortex, let you do all the work. They got the result that they needed from you, and they left. And that's why you don't host them. What I do over here is I say, your amygdala is hijacked. You need to weaken this motherfucker and strengthen this one. That creates cognitive overload. Nobody don't want to have cognitive overload, but that's the only way that this becomes weak and this becomes strong. So let's say you got you used to be fit. That's up here. Now you're not fit. You got a fupa and a booty do and all of that and flabby arms and everything. When you take your ass back to the gym, you're going to pick up a weight and your arm going to be like, hold up, what you doing? So you got 2 choices. Go to the gym and get real muscles, or go to the doctor and get lipo. And if you go get lipo, you're going to look snatched for a minute, but you missed out on all the strengthening of all the rest of the brain regions. So that is what's happening to losers. And that is why don't be their liposuction. You want to learn how to do this shit, you got it. It's sweat equity over here. I'm not doing it for you anymore. And I had to learn that in these last 12 years. And that's what I was doing when I was advising business owners. I was running the damn show because I knew how to do it. But that's not what you do. So if somebody wants some information, you give them the list and say, go execute that. And if they say, but I need some help, you know what you need is cognitive overload to strengthen your prefrontal cortex. That's what